just about to head out for my flight to Reno to see my best friend Alexis. That was Vlad closing the door. And I'm going to go wedding dress shopping with her for this weekend, so I'm really excited. And then I'll be able to see my sister and some of my cousins and family in the Bay Area. So we are packed and all ready to go. Let's get it, let's go. While we were in Reno, we spent some time planning Alexis's bachelorette party. On our first day out, we went shopping, or at least for me it was more like window shopping around Midtown. We went to Natural Selections, which is one of our favorite plant stores in Reno. They have cute plants, pottery, and a very interesting ethical taxidermy collection. After that, we did quite a bit of walking, which although it was hot, I'm just glad I got my steps in, to be honest. Then we arrived at our first wedding dress shop, which was called Moonlight Lace. Overall, we noticed the selection of dresses here were pretty affordable and within Alexis's budget. She did visit a shop in LA just for fun because she knew that their stuff was out of her budget, but this one was her first official try-on session. Our stylist was super nice and really accommodating. Alexis got to try on a lot of different styles and kind of got to see what she liked and what didn't work for her. And if there's anything I can tell you guys, she definitely did not like lace.
I don't think the lace feels like Alexis.
No.
And although most of the dresses looked good on her, there was one that she definitely fell in love with, which was the off-the-shoulder A-line silhouette.
This is my favorite so far.
Yeah. I think I like the best today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so pretty.
I love that.
Looks really cool, Alexis.
Yeah, really.
How do you feel?
We still had 2 other stores to go to, so this one was a strong contender for now. Afterwards, we were feeling pretty hungry, so we headed to Arario for dinner, which was one of Alexis's favorite Korean fusion places. On Friday, Alexis and her fiance made some spam musubi for us, and we made a little charcuterie board before heading to see the Barbie movie. The next morning, we headed to Sacramento. Halfway through our road trip, we stopped by a Japanese supermarket called Ikeda's to grab some snacks and food along the way. Then it was time for our second wedding dress shop. We went to A&B Bridal, which had a pretty wide selection of dresses. Here, Alexis had 2 specific dresses she wanted to try on and wanted to see if they would change her mind or not about the first dress.
Yeah, that's so pretty.
Wow. It already has the up.
Yeah.
She ended up finding one that looked really similar to the first dress she really liked and was half the price. So this ended up being a really strong second contender.
Alexis.
But there was still one more shop to see. After that, we went to go get more snacks. Can you tell we love food? And then we headed towards SF. We were really lucky to be able to stay at Alexis's fiance's grandma's old house. Yes, that is a mouthful. It was this beautiful historic 3-story home in the middle of San Francisco, and apparently it used to be owned by one of the vice presidents of one of the largest national banks in the US. I don't remember which bank it was. Then Alexis's fiance's grandma bought it back in the 1900s. We definitely did some exploring, and this house is just like a museum, guys. I was just in love with all of the vintage and antique furniture that they had. Also, I just can't get over these crochet hangers. And after getting some rest, it was time to get dinner. We ended up going to a Japanese restaurant down the street. The food was pretty good, but we felt bad for our waiter since it ended up getting so busy and he was the only one working there. But I will say thank you so much to Alexis' mom for paying for us. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but thank you so much because that was really sweet of you. The next morning, I decided to take it a little slow. I took a bath because how can you not when there's this beautiful vintage tub lying around? Unfortunately though, the bathtub ended up leaking, so we learned not to use the tub anymore. Aunt Claire, if you see this, I am very sorry. And after learning my lesson not to use the bathtub again, it was time to get ready for the day and our last wedding dress shop for the trip. Now this is when it got really hectic because the shop accidentally ended up giving us the wrong address, which brought us to their old location. It was really stressful because we ended up being late for the appointment, but the stylist who was helping us apologized about the mix-up, was super nice, and still gave us the full time for Alexis to try on all the dresses. At Sarah 7, all the dresses are designed and made in-house, and you can tell that everything was really well made and thoughtfully curated. Alexis did find some fun dresses there, but none of them really stuck out to her the way the other two did from the previous shops, so her decision was pretty much made. After our last shop, we just ended up eating some Chinese food back at the house and rested for a little bit. Then we decided to take a quick walk around the neighborhood because the weather was so nice. It was insane to see all these beautiful $1 million homes just all next to each other. We even got to see Robin Williams' old home, but also made us think how it was kind of sad how inaccessible some parts of SF was to lower income classes. But on another note, we ended up visiting China Beach, which was very calm and peaceful. And although I didn't want to leave my friends and I was going to miss them, it was time to go see my family. Stayed with my sister the first night there, which she didn't want to be in the video. We had a little family and friends barbecue that night where we did swim a little bit in her pool, and my favorite part, I got to chill in her jacuzzi. She also has a little zoo in her home, which of course I am not opposed to at all. Before I knew it, the next day had arrived and it was time to get my first tattoo. My sister convinced me to get a matching tattoo with her. We decided to get each other's birth flowers, which I designed. By the way, my sister is also a tattoo artist who specializes in watercolor tattoos and owns her own shop called Divine Art Studio, so we decided to get them done at her place. Can you tell it's inspired by Disney? Here's some really blurry footage of me getting the stencil on. To be honest, I was absolutely terrified because I never thought I would get a tattoo, but here we are.
I'm afraid.
I'm not gonna lie, I think the thought of getting a tattoo was a lot scarier to me than actually getting it. Maybe it's the location I got it in, but it really didn't hurt as much as I thought it would, which I was thankful for. And this is what it looked like. Also, apparently if you get your tattoo cherry popped at my sister's studio, you get to ring a gong. And then it was my sister's turn, and of course, she took it like a boss. Okay, this may not be the best footage, but this is what they looked like next to each other. Shortly after, I chilled and worked at my sister's studio for a bit before my other cousins came to pick me up. And you know we had to get our boba. We also decided to go on a walk, which I know it's a lot of walking for the day, but I love walking, so I didn't mind. I definitely wanted to take advantage of the beautiful California weather as much as I could before going back to that Texas heat. The next day, I headed back to SF with my cousin to visit my part-time job's headquarters. So I'm not allowed to share what I saw at my part-time job for privacy reasons, but I will say it was a great opportunity for me to see my workplace in person and enjoy SF a bit more. After my visit, I decided to stop by a local boba shop, grab some lunch, and do some work there. I'm not going to lie guys, this was probably one of my favorite boba spots I've been to. It's called Plenty and I highly recommend. But this ended up being the last day of my trip, and before I knew it, it was time to go home. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for accompanying me on my little mini summer vacation. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.